of the International Orienteering Federation, Henrik Eliasson, who will take us through Gold World Ranking events and whatever news there might be from the IOF office. So, Henrik, please go ahead.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. Just make a note if something not looking good on the screen, but I will guide you with an IOF Office update and then some digging into the Gold World Ranking event concept and where we are at the moment. So we'll use the last 30 minutes. I will spend a bit more time on some slide and be more faster on others. So let's go ahead. So overview, would like to share the message that you, IOF volunteers and the office are together a well-performing team, and we're having good progress in general. So it's a very positive movement within the IOF. We see that broadcast TV, that is still the most important channel for create external impact. And I will come back to some points regarding to this later. We see that digitalization and further delegation within the IOF organization is key enabler, and it's also upcoming focus areas. And we see already now that the council points towards a focus for strength and focus on global development projects in the next strategy period, which also includes events. Below is just a presentation of the main processes within IOF Office. I will not spend time on that for now, but just to have an overview. So inside the IOF Office, here's the crew. On this slide, so to say, no changes. There are some small internal ways of working that me as CEO will be more involved in the event delivery, also in partner events. I've been quite involved already, but that will be increased even more to support the Secretary General, Sondre. We also have our long-term constructors or consultants. Here's a small update to next year where Per Frost, who has been on a part-time basis, he will probably return later in the year on a contract basis, but the core crew is still there, and we are still working with ITA as a subcontract separate unit that is performing the anti-doping tests. Just to give an overview of what is upcoming in the IOF. So there will be a bidding seminar. It will be aimed towards the national federations and other interested. We will have a development webinar by GDC, Global Development Commission. And there in the next year, we will have the annual IOF organization joint meeting where the Photo Commission will meet next time as well. And then into February, there will be a packed weekend with a IOF calendar conference. This is a new conference with the target group for National Federation, especially working with or responsible for national calendar and syncing the international and national calendar. We see a need of information experience sharing here in this area, and especially related to the future seasons. If we look shortly ahead, 26, 27 is a quite, let's say, normal one. But in 2028, the World Orienteering Championship will be in end of April. So it will be a kind of other way around season. We would like to have closer cooperation with the member federation here. And also because we see that this kind of season could occur also in the future. Then we have the high-level seminar. I will come back to that as well, but it's all about experience sharing and important education occasion. So very soon the invitation to high-level event seminar will be sent out, but save the date in the calendar, and will be a fully packed weekend with a lot of experience sharing and nice personal meetings. It will be in Vilnius, Lithuania. So also sneak peek of this year's EOC. Looking into the main events calendar, we have a biggest ever World Cup coming up next year with 4 full rounds, 2 sprint rounds and 2 forest rounds. And we're looking forward towards a great season there. And the crown will be the World Team Championship next year in sprint. And presenting is also the program, because you can see it's a bit atypical from usually VOC, with 1 day extra rest between the sprint final and the 2 concluding events. So also here, book your trips and prepare for some nice visiting to Genoa.
Henrik,
yeah.
just a comment to that. We will have the IOF General Assembly also in Genoa on the 12th of July.
Yes, that is correct. So the morning after the last race, it will be the General Assembly. So that is also information that is upcoming. So here's a small section about trying to get an overview of our global reach. So we can see that the sport is growing, and we are now in a position where we have regional and senior and junior championships in all continents. We are calculating that there are more than 2 million active orienteers at some level, and additional plus 2 million that are in some way trying what can be deemed as orienteering. So maybe it's good to set this in a bigger picture, that this and together with all the other strengths of orienteering is something we are trying to present to the IOC, International Olympic Committee. And there is a long-term work going on to position the sport. However, in the question of inclusion in Olympics, this is nowadays a decision by each LOC. So next chance is 2032 in Australia, in Brisbane. And the IOF have, together with the Australian Federation, prepared a presentation and a concept, so to say, how orienteering could look into an Olympic setting. We expect that the LOC of Brisbane 2032 will do a shortlist within some month. We know there are many sports attempting, but and we are one of them. So we will see what the outcome be, but that is how we work to utilize the growing global participation and our sports level in all aspects, including quality. So another really important factor in relation to this is how worldwide the sport are. So we are measuring that, and if we compile both VOC and the World Games, we can see we have 50 nations, 10 nations, top 3, 21 nations, top 10, etc. So this is important work that we need to continue. And probably, to be honest, we need to have really good athletes from all continents before can have a true chance of entering the Olympics in the future. So this is an area where our events has big value. So all of you, I think it was more than 35 countries here represented in the meeting today. Every one of you doing a world ranking event anywhere out in the world, you are contributing to this bigger goal. So please keep up the good work, and we will do our best. Just a short deep dive into the broadcast reach. Here's an example from World Orienteering Championship this year. We can see that in average, above more than 4 million viewers were reached. And if you compile that together with the World Cups, it's up to 20 million. So we have an external reach here, which is much stronger and wider than our own channels. We are continuously working and adding new rights holders. Belgium was one example this year, and so on. And together with the European Broadcasting Union, we have a multi-year cooperation for distribution on their OTT platform, what they try to build the future on. Looking in social media reach, you can see that is lower than the TV broadcast reach, and it partly relates to that it's a bit harder to reach, let's say, outside the friends and family here. We have a growth, but it's still an area where we can improve. And here, all the organizers, national federations, everyone can contribute by being active and sharing content, and have a good strategy and plan. Also, I wanted to present a bit of a highlight that IOF is, for the third time in a row, shows or is proven to be the #1 RFs federation in good governance. So there is a measurement where there is a scoring, and IOF is in the lead, and is actually improving our lead in this. The takeaway from here is that probably in the new strategic direction, we can focus a bit less on this area, because we are really on the top. Of course, it's a continuous work, and there is always improvement to be made. But it's also shown that the work that has been done gives a results comparing to other federations, just to take an example. So that's something to spread at national level, national committee, international Olympic committee level, etc., that we are best in class in governance. Here's some more details you can dig into if you're interested. But we achieved consistently high score. So a bit of touchdown in this. We are getting towards the end of this current strategy period, and there's an ongoing process or starting process towards a new strategy. So this is how it looks right now, and how it's been looking for 4 years. We have some areas about improving performance, sustainability, brand, visibility, global competition program and quality, and governance. And looking into this, there are some highlights and progress that are very clear. We are especially happy with the foundation of the Asian Orienteering Association, a regional body for the orienteering, which step by step will have delegated more and more responsibility in terms of the regional championships and so on. We're also happy for Young Leaders Academy, that is feeding young leaders into to both IOF and National Federation organization. And we see, as mentioned, broadcast stability and growth on IOF TV, and in general, good progress. In the other areas, we can see that the event quality this year, all the events were in the range of excellent, even in the top half of the scoring range. We can see that the fair play elements in the quality index show good organizational focus. So your work is also making a difference here. in relation to partner organization and partner events, wanted to share a bit of update that IOF has now a memorandum of understanding with CISM. You might remember that was cancelled 5-6 years ago, but now we're on track again, and orienteering was actually on the program already in Brazil in one of their competitions down there. So we know that this is an important partner for many national federation, and so we are happy that we are on board here again with the new fair play and respect for sanctions included in the MOU. We can also say that International Council of Sport for the Deaf also have a new MOU, which is also a positive step. And here there will be Deaf Olympics in Japan in like a week from now. So it's really happening things there. And related to this, we have also developed and approved by Council new clear criteria how the IOF Office support different partner organizations, including making a priority scale. So this is a bit too detailed to tell everything, but just to show you that we have a level where the World Games, based on the federation input, national federation input, is on the level 1. And here we have the biggest support in terms of engagement from IOF. And then for each level, there are different criteria and focus how we work. Maybe one thing to mention here is that in the long-term perspective, International Masters Games Association, from 2027 and forward, and perhaps some small events before that, new event cooperation will happen. So we will continue the contracts we have, especially for the World Masters 2027, but we will not continue the collaboration for long term after that. A specific update is that IOF has a working group working with indoor orienteering, or maybe sometimes outdoor we have seen, but basically big scale and special rule setup. And this is on a progress phase, and there is a consultation regarding mapping specification on that. So this is also appreciated by many federations who really have it in their program already now. And so we wanted to find a way of making a good international standard. So here I just wanted to show you that there is an ongoing process towards the General Assembly approval of the strategic direction or the new strategy. There has been a member survey, and I will show you a bit interesting outcome of that, just to show that what is the input. So our member federation did answer on some questions, and here's a highlight from some of them. So one was how important it is for your federation about the Olympic ambition in the main goal of the IOF. And as you can see, it was a lot of score about the importance of that. So that was some valid input. There was also input about partner events, seen as very important, especially the university sports. The same relates to World Games, where we see a big support and big importance from the federations. Compared to some others, for example, this International Masters Games, you see a big difference in how they rate. Okay, that's was 17 minutes, 12 minutes to go. Let's check some VRE.
Henrik, sorry to interrupt a little bit here, but it applies here to the Gold WREs also. Tatiana has written that we should remember also the out of competition things in the WRE. So give attention to the, for example, prize giving ceremonies and so forth. So she's proposing to add those also to the WRE checklist.
Okay, yeah, super valid input.
And also, Kelly is here commenting on the Olympics that you should ask also the federation how much money they are prepared to use in attempting to get the Olympics.
Yeah, that's a good input. It's that is hopefully a process that I mean, in the end, it's national federations who are approving and choosing what will be the strategy. So there will be a process where it continues consulting and so on. So it's everyone's strategy, so to say. So I think it's something valid input. Okay, cool. Thank you. Just a bit of fly into the VREs. We did some check into statistic, and I would like to thank David Roach for this. And we found out some quite interesting things, like in a year like 2024, there were almost 170 world ranking events in photo, hosted by 37 member federations. It was spread all across the globe, and majority in Europe, maybe as expected, but a nice spread. We can also see that over half of the world ranking events have entries from more than 7 countries. So it's really international events. That's really nice to see. And Portugal meeting was the event last year that had the most nations represented. Not calculating championships, if you understand. We can also see that there is quite even distribution of the events. Here you can see sprint is the event where it's most various, and we can see a growing number of knockout sprint, which is nice. Looking into Gold WRE, so what is that? Hopefully you have been able to catch up this basic information, but we wanted to spend some time to present it, because it's always when you present something new, it takes a while to reach out. So given this big amount of event we have, world ranking events, and also in a quite big scale, we wanted to find a way to highlight the most prominent VREs, and we think they are really worth extra promotion and recognition, because it offers top level competition and a high profile exposure. So this became kind of the target for the Gold WREs, together with creating good or extra, let's say, benefits for the athletes in terms of more exposure, sometimes prize money, sometimes other support. So what we see is that the benefits for the organizer is that it will lead to enhanced publicity, since you are on this high profile events group. And we think that this will be attracting more elite athletes and boost the entry numbers. Of course, there are many factors included here. One, of course, very important is the placing in terms of the calendar, how good it suits the athletes' preparations for bigger events, etc. We also see this as a potential pathway when you have ambitions to host higher tier events like the World Cup or WOC in the future. And we hope that it can be an assistance in securing sponsorship and financial support. For the athletes, the ambition is to enable a transparent and trustful guide. Where can you find good quality event, sometimes financially supported, and also that they can expect that the level of exposure will be there. So it's basically to highlight the WREs that have either excellent terrains, or I would say all the time excellent terrains, and quite often connected to that they will attract a strong elite field, either by being a multi-year built up brand or having a certain connection to a major IOF event. And it's also important here that the sub goal is that we are also having a level of elite athletes, maybe not yet qualifying to national teams, so give them chance for international experience and also race against the best sometimes. So the overall target is to have 10 plus events per year. And when we talk about events, it's usually a weekend concept. So we see that's easier to communicate, and that is also how the athletes they're traveling to compete during a weekend, not just one race in a weekend. We try to find a balance, connecting to how the general WRE balance is. And one target is that the communication will be social media based, and a collaboration with the local organizer on the IOF, because this enables sharing also by athletes and fans, and basically a greater impact with less administration compared to, let's say, old style race reports, etc., etc. And we see that video highlights and interviews is example of focused product that we will align and work with all the Gold WREs. IOF aims to have them in several regions, and we want to spread them out a year, but especially connected to kind of build up for the season, and harmonize with the World Cup and VOC and other major events. I'm rushing on here to keep time a bit. Just wanted to share that there are internally, so to say, two types of Gold WRE. Externally, they will be all branded as Gold WRE, but we see one way to qualify is to a Premier Gold WRE. Then it's recognized for its elite competition history or quality terrain or quality terrain, and linked to major events. Basically, super great event that we also urge and hope that will do some extra incentives for the athletes. The other option is the funded Gold WRE. Here we have a set of criteria with substantial financial and visibility incentives for the athletes. Probably would only have just a few every year of them. This is more like a collaboration approach together with the IOF. I have actually a set of requirements ready for that and a presentation, but I don't think it's relevant to present it here today, but there is. So if you are interested in your country, you can just reach out to me. And I already partly mentioned this, but for the Premier Gold WREs, it is really about good quality terrain, strong elite field. And then it can also be supportive if you are linking to an IOF major event. For funded, terrain, infrastructure, and accommodation must satisfy the participants, and there is a contract-based collaboration for securing quality, including live streaming and financial incentives like prize money for the athletes. But please remember that the Premier Gold WREs, they will not have a fixed prize money structure, etc. So it's really up from each event how they are able to find and distribute their support to the athletes. And we are in the middle of the application process, and it's about to publish now. And I will very soon show you the first batch of events that have been confirmed. And we expect to confirm events later in the season. In another batch in a few weeks, we're still waiting for some answers, and then a third batch later on for the next season, for the ending of the season. And worth mentioning, there is normal WRE service fee, so no changes here. If you go for a funded, as mentioned, you pay for the event advisor, the streaming, and incentives for the athletes. And you should also allocate space for IOF's silver sponsor, if applicable. And here's IOF will reach out depending on how it looks. So now to the list. So we're happy to announce that we have like 7 concepts, or weekend concepts or events that we can release now. Starting up with the Portugal O meeting in February, where the organizers there are promising some great terrain and incentives for the athletes. We will follow up with pre-VOC races, where we know that many national teams will travel and compete. Then there is yet to be confirmed, but a strong interest from having let's say a trip or a series of Gold WREs funded ones in China. And then there is a group of events connecting both to prepare to VOC, but also to the EOC in Lithuania. So organizers who are ready to do a bit extra and already before had live streaming and other incentives as well for the visibility. And we will also see kind of a pre-Team world ranking event, either 1st or 2nd of May in Sweden. So yeah, some exciting upcoming Gold WREs. And if you are event advisor of some of these, either you are already contacted or will be contacted very soon. In general, there are not so much extra to focus on in this case, but it's anyway important to have the communication initiated early. And the IOF is working on let's say, more detailed manual how to communicate, including graphics, etc., that will support the organizer in this. I stop my sharing now and leave open if there are any questions.
Right now, I don't see any questions either in chat or any raised hands. So I think you did good, Henry.
Yeah, and as always, you're always welcome to contact me and follow up.
Okay, in that case, I thank you a lot, Henrik, for a lot of very interesting information. And then I will just say thank you to all of you for having participated now in the first 2 blocks of our Event Advisor Seminar 2024.